Okay, and recording has begun, so welcome everyone to the first meeting of our 25-26 school year. Hardly seems like we've had time through summer to enjoy family and friends, and it's coming to a close, but we have one more week left, and it looks like it's going to be sunny and hot too, so let's hope for no forest fires. I'd like to acknowledge that we're meeting today on the traditional territory of the Coast Salish peoples, and particularly the Snawis and the Qualicum First Nations, and we thank them for their stewardship of this land and allowing us to live, work, play, and learn in this beautiful part of our island. Trustees, could I ask for the adoption of the agenda as presented? So move Trustee Kellogg. Seconded Trustee Young. All those in favor? Carried. And I'll just note that Trustee Austin is absent this evening. She may be able to pop in, but she will be absent this evening. So approval of the consent agenda, which really only has 2 items. Could I have a mover and a seconder to approve the consent agenda items? Thank you, Trustee Young. Trustee Kellogg. All those in favor? Carried. We have no delegations this evening. No public questions have been submitted. So business arising from our minutes is trustee meeting scheduled for 2025-26. This is on page 12 and 13 of your board package this evening. The trustees have had time to talk about this of late. And so we would now confirm that all meetings of Committee of the Whole will be recorded. The facilitators for each of those meetings will stay the same. Trustee Kellogg will facilitate fins and ops, finance and operations. Trustee Young will do the Education Committee of the Whole, and I will facilitate the Policy Committee of the Whole. These, though, have shifted slightly in our schedule, although you'll see that in the agenda package. Education Committee of the Whole will be the second Tuesday of the month. The Finance and Operation and Policy Committee will be the third Tuesday of the month. And the regular board meeting and in-camera meetings will all be the fourth Tuesday of the month. We've tried to align our business to 1 day a week, and that day was chosen to be Tuesdays. We do have a conflict, which I have given the heads up to Trustee Young regarding November the 11th, which is a staff holiday, as we all know, which is a Tuesday. And stay tuned, we'll probably move it to the Wednesday following November 12th. Trustee Kurland.
I'm having some technical difficulties, so could you repeat what the days were again? My system cut out when you were saying that.
Okay, the second Tuesday of the month will be Education Committee of the Whole. The third Tuesday of the month will be Fins and Ops, as we casually know it, and Policy. And the fourth Tuesday, as we have our standard practice and is in our bylaws, to have in camera and regular board meeting on the fourth Tuesday of every month.
My system cut out again. Don't worry about it. I'll get it in the minutes.
Yeah. Okay. Or it's in the package, because I think Karen was able to update it this morning. Trustee Young.
I was just wondering, was the time, we talked about the time of the Ed Committee meeting changing, and I wonder if that's happened.
Yeah, I put that in our notes to Karen, and I think we just wanted to make a quick check to see that schools would be and students might be available for your new start of 12:30, but the Fins and Ops meeting will still go at 10:30 and Policy will go at 1 o'clock.
Hey, thank you.
Okay, Dr. Jory, any updates?
Yeah,
this is kind of hot off
just
the
want to
press.
be careful about committing the schools to that without letting them know first. Of course, they're only, back in the buildings and they might want to be talking to the kids first, but we did discuss it and with Rudy as the new Ed chair that time or middle of the day or whatever it turns out to be should be fine with him. And I'm speaking for you, Rudy, if that's okay.
Yeah.
But
Rudy, I'll be looking for you.
we'll be
You and me.
reaching out to schools and just
Okay.
checking on those times to make sure that they're working for them, and we'll get back to you and we'll make the time public.
Because we still,
Thank you.
and our attempt has always been that the education committee is to involve our youth and things like that. And so we'll be seeking permission for their attendance and things like that, or changing up the recording a bit and how it's presented publicly. But all meetings will be recorded. So I don't exactly see Mount Ara Smith Teachers Association, but it could be Matt Wood. Are you?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, can't see you.
Oh,
Where are
yeah,
you?
I'm in my bright yellow. Can't miss me.
Oh, I can't. There you are.
Whoa.
Oh, front and center now. Ma, I have
That's
one
right.
of those.
See, you gotta dress for the summer.
Okay.
Well, it's still
Spiky
here.
hair and all. Okay,
Uh,
over to you for an
Hmm,
update on
okay.
Mata.
sure, not too much here. We're just getting started. It's good evening. Hi, bonsoir, everyone. I want to welcome everyone back after what I hope was a good and well restful summer break. The weather has been terrific, and my only hope is that it would eventually balance out with a little bit of precipitation, but you never complain when the sun's shining. But our plants and plant life definitely need water. I want to say that I'm also very appreciative to be living in this part of the world on the unceded land of the Tsinawas and Qualicum Nations, and appreciative of the Indigenous nations and their stewardness of this land, and that we that are on this land now continue this stewardship for future generations. It's been great to see some of this stewardship in terms of sockeye. I'm not sure if that is our actual conservation efforts, but the sockeye have returned and in huge numbers. So that is hopeful, and hopefully that will continue. I've not been out to schools yet to visit with teachers or to visit with administration, but I have heard from many teachers that they are preparing their classrooms for the students by organizing all the supplies that they can get, creating their class seating charts and getting lessons, and especially that first week back prepared. Even those teachers, and there are some that have yet to receive confirmation of their classes and their students and student lists that they are teaching, they're in their room still preparing as best as they can for this. And we know, as I've talked earlier about this is that flawed Ministry of Education and Childcare dystopian funding model that prevents districts from planning accordingly and having to rely on waiting to count students in seats before they can ever make a final decision. So just to note that this can mean that the first week back to school can be stressful on administrators, teachers, parents, and students especially. And hopefully we could do better. I want to highlight that, and I'm not sure if you had said this already, Chair Flynn, but this Monday, September 1st, it is the Labor Day celebrations. Oftentimes, most people only think of this upcoming weekend as the last chance to enjoy a long weekend before the end of summer, or it's at least the last chance to get organized to start of a new school year. But the Holiday Monday is also a time to reflect on the history of labor and labor relations, especially the importance of labor and the labor union movement. I think we can look at the recent Air Canada situation as something that really supports union efforts. Historically, Labor Day celebrations had begun back in the 1890s, and were often with parades and various forms of different union participation. Today, many unions celebrate this day in many ways. The Nanaimo Duncan and District Labor Council, which Matt is a member of, will be holding a Labor Day picnic at Transfer Beach in Ladysmith from 11 to 3 this Monday. That includes live music, hot dogs, and many kids' activities. We encourage anyone that's in that area to go and support those initiatives. Finally, I want to remind everyone that teachers are still at the provincial bargaining table, and we are hopeful with up to 11 meetings with BCPC in September that we'll be able to have a fair negotiated deal at the bargaining table. There's concerns with some other unions that are potentially taking some strike votes, so we hope we don't have to go down that road. And one other thing, I suppose, is I noticed that all the meetings now are on Tuesdays. That is a little unfortunate in our sense, as you know, that I've expressed the Tuesdays historically have tried to hold our spot for union activities. I'm just wondering, with further discussion, we may have to look at this as we may not be able then to contain all our union meetings on that day as well. So we'll have to look into that further. So, but to start another day. As always, I look forward with working with all education stakeholders this year to create an environment that is a trusting, relational, and supportive environment for students as well as my members, and an environment that supports teachers to thrive will also support students to thrive. Thank you. Merci. Hesepwa.
Thanks, Matt. Now to QP 3570, Mr. Rycroft, Ewan.
Thank you, Eve. Good evening, trustees, administrators, colleagues, and guests. Thank you for the opportunity to speak here with you today as we begin another school year together. On behalf of QP, I want to start by acknowledging the tremendous efforts of our members through the summer months. While many enjoy well-deserved breaks during summer, QP members across the district continue working quietly, diligently, and with pride to ensure our schools are safe, clean, and ready for students and staff to return. Whether it's maintenance, staff, repairing, upgrading facilities, custodians, deep cleaning every classroom, administrative staff preparing schedules and resources, or education assistants attending training and planning sessions, we remain committed, as always, to supporting student success year-round. To those who are able to take some time off over the summer, we sincerely hope you had a restful and restorative break. Welcome back. Your return adds to the full strength of our school communities, and we're excited to start the year fresh and united. As we turn a page to a new academic year, we look forward to continuing our work side by side with teachers, administrators, families, and the board to support the next group of students as they learn, grow, and prepare to graduate. Every role within our schools contributes to that journey, and we're proud to be an integral part of it. Let's move forward into this new year with a spirit of collaboration and mutual respect. Together, we will continue to build school environments that are safe, inclusive, empowering for everyone who walks in through the doors. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Ewan. I think, Carol, you have a question? Comment?
I just have a comment. I wanted to say thank you very much for your support, staff. There's nothing nicer than entering a building that the floors are really shiny and everything's clean at the beginning of the school year. So thank you very much to all your support staff, Ewan.
Thank you, Carol.
And now to DPAC, and I'll call upon Aaron West. Kind of an interim DPAC at this point, but I know that our meetings in September and elections in October will continue the wonderful growth of our DPAC into the new school year. So over to you, Erin.
Thank you. So good evening, trustees, staff, and parents. I hope everyone has had a chance to enjoy the summer break. As we start the new school year, we know this transition can be exciting for some families and bring real challenges for others. Parent advisory councils are here to support families. This might be by sharing information, helping find solutions, or connecting families with resources. We're grateful to the district staff and teachers who are working so hard to make the back to school transitions as smooth as possible. At the June board meeting, we were encouraged to hear support for recording committee of the whole meetings and encouraged to hear that motion passed today. For many parents, the daytime and evening meetings are equally difficult to attend, so recording those meetings will really help make sure families can stay informed and engaged. Our first DPAC meeting of the year will be held on Wednesday, September 18th at 6:30 p.m., and all parents and caregivers are welcome to attend. For anyone wondering what DPAC does, we advocate, we educate, we coordinate, we support, and we are the collective voice of parents and caregivers in district conversations. We're also looking for new executive members. So if you're passionate about helping schools work for everyone, now's a great time to get involved. Even mini PACs at the school level will be having a space for DPAC representatives to attend the meetings. And the DPAC will be looking for 1 or 2 executive positions as well as directors at large. So please reach out if you feel an interest to any of those things. And finally, thank you, and we look forward to working together with the board, staff, and families for a positive year ahead.
Thanks, Erin. I think the DPAC meeting is the 17th, but that's a little typo and it's no big deal. Wednesday the 17th. But yes, your definition of a DPAC role is absolutely 100% what we would hope and like to see as the voice of DPAC. Sharing with us at this level, as certainly as our committee of the wholes, at the issues of parents and caregivers and children and our students on an ongoing basis. So it is a valued a participant to our processes and our decision making. So we look forward to your September 17th meeting, and we'll be having a member of the board attend, and we align a member to attend each of your meetings throughout the year. And so here we go. Here we go, another new year. So thank you very much. No action items at this point, so I'll turn over to our information items, and our superintendent, Dr. Peter Jory, will start with the provincial update and district updates regarding startup. Dr.
Thanks, Chair
Jory.
Flynn. Thanks, Chair Flynn. As I usually do, I will run them together a little bit. Hello, bonjour, squale, CMCA. Hope everyone had a safe and relaxing summer here in the Oceanside community, and that your friends and family across the province enjoyed a safe and relatively smoke-free summer. We did experience some particulate and some anxiety at the local level. Our operations crew did work with the RDN to set up a evacuation center at Bolinas Secondary, which very fortunately did not end up receiving any guests. Provincially, enrollment was a big topic last year, less so this time around. The echo boom, as I call it, seems to be tapering down around the province. We know that both immigration and provincial in-migration to British Columbia has slowed somewhat. Locally, we had projected a drop of about 100 students, which will likely repeat again this year, with much larger cohorts going out through graduation that are coming in through kindergarten registration. As you may recall, last year we also had a somewhat last-minute reduction in students with unique needs, which required us to make some fairly profound last-minute budgetary responses. It is still early days in regard to walk-up and walk-out traffic in our schools, but we are not seeing any big surge in either direction so far. The Ministry of Education and Childcare will be focusing on further expanding childcare opportunities, reducing absenteeism, and rolling out the new literacy screeners this year, topics which all resonate with us here in the Qualicum School District. There will be new curriculum on Holocaust education and social studies, and naloxone and AED training in PE, and we are required to have a new policy supporting naloxone and AED training by the end of December of this year. The ministry also has provincial bargaining to contend with in the upcoming Ombudsperson's report, which is due out June 2026, along with ongoing work on cybersecurity across the province. My favorite comment, though, was about the vessel, where the ADM said the upcoming changes are intended to make it more efficient for people to complete the report and not about driving us crazy. My response is that when faced with a choice, it's not always one or the other, you know. Sometimes it's a bit of both. Locally, the overhaul of our transportation processes continues. As I mentioned in June, early registration is way up over previous years. The software has produced some efficiencies in our routing, and the changing fee structure appears to be helping reduce the number of registered non-riders. Registration for the MyRide app is still lagging a bit, despite a messaging blitz by the department. While just signing in on the website can provide routing information, it does not give parents and caregivers real-time updates on the buses and the location of their students like the app does. So we are hoping to see more people engage with this helpful new communication tool. As usual, our operations crew have been hard at work making sure the floors are clean, the weeds are whacked, and the classrooms will be ready for students next week. In addition to the regular summer maintenance, there have been several large projects going on around the district. Some are wrapping up now, and a few will linger on just a bit into the school year. The scope of work being done is quite amazing, and I look forward to getting around to all of our sites over the next few days to check in on the progress. Speaking of progress, the official opening of the Bolinas track is September 12th. And I can think of at least 3 people right off the top of my mind who are absolutely thrilled that this day is finally upon us. It looks amazing and will serve the schools and the community very well for many years into the future. I will also comment that the grass in the middle is coming in nicely. Mr. Terpstra and I were over there this morning. It is so very green. We'll ask you all to please stay off it until the roots are fully developed so it can stand up to the wear and tear that it will experience soon enough. Kudos to everyone for getting this one over the finish line. This year, of course, has 2 of our elementary schools starting about 20 minutes later than last year, and 2 of our high schools starting about 15 minutes later, which, coupled with more efficient routing, should push morning bus pickup times later around the district. This may be appreciated by many students and families right away in September, but I'm especially pleased that the time spent on the side of the road during the darkest part of winter will be greatly reduced. We have asked schools to be especially mindful and transparent about supervision times as we work through adjustments at each site. I will also mention the formation of our new communications working group and ask that our partner groups read their email on the topic. Yes, I am saying email. We look forward to receiving recommendations regarding new or different practices, the development of a new communications plan, some guidance regarding a replacement platform for our current website, which will leave us at the end of the year. In regard to strategic planning, we were able to do more learning in the summer with our principal team. Part of this was a sharing session with our colleagues from Campbell River who have adopted the same observable impact planning framework that we have been using for the last 3 years. We were then able to spend the day working on group facilitation skills and utilizing frameworks to help us with those important conversations that keep the work moving forward. I look forward to providing more details about our progress with student achievement when I formally share the FESL report in September, along with how school plans have aligned nicely with the district strategic plan, our next steps for leadership learning as an organization, and the new learning teams we have constructed so schools with similar goal areas can support each other. To close, I mentioned in June that we were hiring a new vice principal for False Bay School. We are very pleased to welcome Ms. Carolyn Smith to the Qualicum School District. She comes to us from Edmonton by way of Vancouver Island West and is settling in nicely over on Lasqueti Island, meeting lots of people and enjoying her conversations with past principal Autumn Taylor. I will also mention the September 8th trip over to Lasqueti for another round of local consultation regarding the new build. See you there, everyone, as well as the conversation with the board about school configuration later on this evening, item 18 on your agenda, if you have one in front of you. Thank you. Merci beaucoup. Isepka, everyone.
Thanks, Dr. Tory. Trustees, any questions? It's been a quick, busy startup as we're launched. Here we go. Okay, next on the agenda then will be our educational programs update, and I'll tag team with the Associate Superintendent Julian Wilson and Director of Instruction, Mr. Terpstra. Who's going first this month?
Hi, I'll go ahead. So just wanted to welcome everybody back from their summer vacations, and it's always, as somebody mentioned it already, it's always that time where it's mixed feelings. There's lots of great energy, anxiety, as well as being nervous about who's my teacher and those kind of things. Just want to comment on a couple of things. One of them is it's grade 8s only for high school on the first day, and that's something we've done traditionally to allow the grade 8s to be in that larger environment without all of the other students being there, and so they can get their timetables. They do a little bit of a walkabout and get to go to the classes in that 3-hour early dismissal on that first day, and then they see how the hallways really are when their fellow students arrive 9 through 12 the next day. So it's something that we've done for the last several years, and it's been a really well received by the grade 8s. They appreciate having the space to themselves. With our kindergartens, please reminder to all parents, Please check your school website. Your information will be emailed to you in terms of when your particular child will be attending school. They start the next Monday. They're not in school this first week. Most of our elementary schools, I shouldn't say that, all of our elementary schools do what we call a reconnecting start. And the philosophy behind the reconnecting start is that, yes, we do get walk up and students register moving to our district and students leaving. And so what we plan in June for what the classes look like might be different if all of a sudden everybody that registers in your school is all in grade 2 and 3 and you have to reconfigure your whole school. Personal story, my very first year as principal at Bowser Elementary School, that happened to me. And they didn't have a reconnecting start. And we got an influx of grade 2 and 3 students, and we had to reconfigure our whole school. We're a little school, I know, but we had to reconfigure the whole school. So as a new principal, my first connection with the parents of one particular class was, "Hi, I'm Miss Wilson, the principal of the school, and your child enjoyed Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so today, but tomorrow the new teacher is." And so it's really important that we know what our configurations look like. The Reconnect Start provides some stability for children too. They're going back to the teachers that they had last year, and they're saying, "Hello, how was your summer?" to the friends that they made last year when they were in the classroom. So it works for all. It's time where they also look at the core competences and do different lessons around the core competences around building culture in their school. So there's lots of learning that takes place that week. It's usually a 2 or 3 day reconnecting start, including the first day that we do. The other things that I'm excited about this year in terms of moving the learning forward, working with Director of Instruction Rudy around our literacy plan and our literacy professional development for our teachers. Really excited about that. And it starts with our principals and vice principals. So Rudy and I are meeting with principals and vice principals tomorrow to talk about what that framework looks like as we focus on literacy, knowing that that's such an important tool and such an important aspect of success for all of our students. Brain and belonging is something I talked about a little bit last year. Several years ago, we did a lot around trauma-informed practice, and we worked a lot with Bruce Perry's work, and we have some people that are trained in the neurosequential model in education. And so it connects really nicely to one of our strategic priorities in terms of belonging. And so recognizing how the brain works, how the brain functions, not just with trauma or stress or anxiety, but also learning and what parts of the brain need to be functioning and working when we're actually engaged in that learning process. So really excited about that working group. I see Autumn's online here today, and Autumn's a key player in leading that learning. And so we have some ideas of how we want to deploy that and get back on track around how we look at the science of learning and how the brain functions. So welcome back, everyone. Thank you.
Whoa, you're on a roll. Director of Instruction, Mr. Terpstra, over to you.
Yeah, hi everyone. Good evening, and I just wanted to also remind everyone that even though most of the education side does take a little bit of a break for the summer, we did have 20 students in the career education program doing explore their careers and doing 3-week work placements with our teacher Martin Jedlick. And also in careers already, our bakers and our chefs have started at VIU this week. So school is rolling. Just some highlights coming from the education side as well as what Associate Superintendent Wilson mentioned. We will, coming out through schools and teachers, will be our Qualicum School District Guidelines for the Use of AI. People have seen the draft form of that last year, and that will be coming along with supplementary supporting documents and resources. We talked about the Assessment and Communicating Student Learning Guide, reminding related to the literacy initiative by the ministry. We will be looking at literacy screeners coming in the next few years. And the ministry actually just announced that they are going to actually create a Made in BC version, but that will be years down the road. Parents, for you, all of our dates, you can see when students are going to be reported, but basically learning updates, most schools will have communication home in the fall, September by mid-October. Elementary schools have a December, March, and June learning updates. And then in the high school, it's November, January, April, and June. And of course, all of our communication comes all the time, all the year, including parent-teacher nights and celebrations of learning. We just wanted to remind people that our school goals, numeracy and literacy, is continuing to move forward, and we'll have check-ins through assessments across the system, including provincial and district assessments, as we always had. Tracking our data, but the big piece that it feeds is what are we learning as the adults, and how do we support our students move forward. And I am happy to also announce we just saw the an example of this is, we saw that our data in the grad assessments for numeracy was not great. And we have since been focusing on that, but also the numbers and the results of our students have been tracking upwards. And we had quite a big leap this last year. The public won't see that in our FESL report or on the provincial data till next year, but it looks encouraging. And then reminders that we have athletic handbook, and we'll continue our learning initiatives. And the last thing I just want to say, we have a really awesome opportunity is the early years conference with the Qualicum First Nations School District. Qualicum School District is partnering. This will be in May 14th to 16th, but it's an amazing, amazing conference that will gather people from all over the province. And we are excited to partner with QFN on that. And that's all I have for reporting today.
Thank you, Mr. Terpstra. I have Trustee Young and then Superintendent Dr. Jory.
Yeah, I'm really glad about the numeracy, because when I was looking at the last FESL report, which is the one that Superintendent Jory will probably bring to us, I was quite concerned about those numbers. So glad to hear it's going up. Way to go. The career, you said 3-week placements, and I think people might be interested in kind of knowing where those placements might be or under, and I don't know if you can answer if that's something that Martin would know about, but just for more information.
For sure. Students honestly get placements all over the place. We still have quite a high interest in welding, and so they're actually like in our fabrication shops all around the district. But last year I know for sure we had a student in a dental center, and really they can work. They can go to any interest career. We usually find them a placing. Yeah.
Cool. And the other thing I think is probably more a question that I'll throw out. I was just thinking, thank you, by the way, about the early learning conference. I'll find out more about that. But I think it's called Constant Comment. It's the system that that we get information out to anybody who registers. And I was just thinking, because we've got DPAC rep here and it's a new DPAC, they might want to talk about that at their next meeting. So can somebody fill me in on the details of that? I know I'm registered, but I can't remember what it's called.
It's a monthly newsletter, but I'll let Dr. Jory speak to it.
I'll respond to that and then make my other comment. It's Constant Contact. It's just a platform that helps you make visually engaging newsletters. And thanks for the reminder. It's a great time for us to mention that. And we got to make sure that we're following the 2014 CASA regulations and not sending out what's the term, CEMs, which I forget what it stands for, but it's basically mercantile type requests without people already pre-approving them. So you have to sign up. That's why we do it by registration, just so we're compliant with the FOIPA and CASA. In regard to Mr. Trooper's comments about secondary numeracy, we're absolutely thrilled, of course, and we won't be keeping that a secret in the festival. When I do the final copy, I'll certainly be making mention of the last few sessions, that we will expect to see quite a surge in our results. We are using and are compelled to use the template they provide us with, and that only goes up till last year's results. And so we'll just make note of what we expect to happen going forward, and that we're thrilled about that.
Great. Okay, thank you very much, Associate Superintendent Wilson and Director of Instruction Turfstaff for, well, it seems like we're definitely well underway. Now the fun part, and I've been into a very shiny school and as well, and seen the track as well, and yes, to Ewan and to Mr. Monroe to please extend our thanks to all the operations and maintenance team that have worked so hard this summer. Boy, our facilities look pretty good. And so I'll let you do a little bring and brag for us then, Mr. Monroe, our Director of Operations, on what's all happened in the district over the summer. Well, the rest of us were out gallivanting and doing different things. I know everyone on your team was hard at work. So over to you.
Thank you, Chair Flynn. I will just echo the comments that have come through from everyone, and I don't want to miss anyone in my team out. And so it is a real team effort in O&M throughout the year, and particularly in the summer, as you mentioned, when others are off. But from custodial to the trades that we have, there was still some of the transportation department working throughout the summer. Clerical. We also have the supplemental works crew, and that's a lot of the 10-month employees in the district, and they have done an outstanding job this summer. And then Brant and Mike in our management team, who've done a great job all summer and really taken limited vacation. They're so passionate about getting things across the finish line here, as is all the team. So thank you to everybody, and can't thank you enough. And I do appreciate hearing those comments. We've definitely gotten lots of gratitude and accolades this week, and it has been passed on. But I will say, whenever you're out and about, passing it on, as you walk past the staff is greatly appreciated as well. A few years ago, when I joined the district, I decided, or I put the suggestion forward to the Brant and Mike of should we start taking before and after photos, and that has been something that Brant and Mike take a lot of pride in as well. And it's nice to reflect and look back, and I'll sort of share that story as we go through some of these photos. So I've tried to get this down to as succinct a presentation as I can, and I will go through really quickly. But I have looked at the agenda and I've looked at the time, and I know that I have time on my side here. So hurry me up.
Do. No, you take all the time. You take all the time you need. This is very special. Yeah. And
we've sort of just look at some of the projects here, and then where we're at, and as Dr. Jury there mentioned, which ones are going to go into the school year. So I'll start this presentation. Oops, share screen first. Okay. Okay, that's coming through, I assume.
Yep. No,
Yeah,
you're good.
perfect.
Operations updates, summer 2025.
Okay, so just moving into Arrowview, and what I will just preface this presentation with is we share this, why I think it's good not only to reflect and look at what we've achieved throughout the capital season, but also it's, I think, really important for schools. And we presented this to the PVP team last week, and then disseminated it out, and then they can share it with their teams in their staff meetings and so on and so forth. But I think it's important for schools to see. Some schools may have got things that are really visible when you walk in the building, and some schools it's fire alarm panels and security alarm panels and things that you're not even going to know had happened in your site. And so it's important that we get that out there to say that there's a lot of work that you actually don't see. So Arrowview got a security alarm upgrade there throughout the summer. They also had a fire alarm upgrade as well. That's wrapping up. The daycare that was there, the sink had some mold built up underneath the sink and the faucets there. So that is I think it's completed it now, so that was swapped out. These are the sorts of things that I mean, where no one would even know that we did that work in the daycare there at Arrowview, unless I put it on the slide here. Bolinas. So the two big capital projects, I think I spoke about this in the lead up to summer. The two big capital projects are some washroom upgrades, and this really came from the strategic planning process, and it really did hit home to me when the student leadership group came in and said their main focus was washroom safety and washroom design and those sorts of things. And so this year we focused on upgrading the washrooms at KSS, which I'll get into shortly, but Bolinas at the same time. And so the contract has been bouncing between Bolinas and KSS. And this was the 300 wing, what they looked like at Bolinas before. This is some of the progress throughout the project, and quite extensive, cracking the slab, opening the wall up, reinforcing the wall. It used to be the exterior wall of the school before some of the extensions. This is some progress shots there. And then this is what it's looking like at the moment. And so this washroom will open up about 2 weeks into the school year. And for those, and this is a photo that I took today, this is what it's looking like as of about 4 o'clock today. And so they're universal washrooms, or washrooms for everybody. And they're just like walking into your own bathroom stall. The sinks will be in the middle section there. And it gives the teachers good sight lines as they walk past. And so the loitering in the common area of the washrooms. And it's not to say we're going to do this in all the washrooms, but to have a blended gender-specific washrooms in some parts of the school, and then have this style washroom in some parts of the high school as well. We've slowly been chipping away, and we're going to start to undertake this at KSS as well. It's slowly chipping away at upgrading the hallways in the high schools. This section of Bolinas, or all of Bolinas, has long-standing had a bulkhead there that used to provide lighting underneath, but it hasn't had lighting for years. So it's actually just been sitting there crowding the hallways. So each year when we can get into the hallways, we take a little bit more of it down. It has to be contracted out because it's got lead paint on it. And we've opened up the hallway there at the entrance to Bolinas. And so we slowly chip away at trying to refurb the hallways. And that's what the front of the library looks like in Bolinas at the moment.
Wow.
Each year we try to do 2 or 3 hardwood gym floor refinishes. This is Bolinas with a refinish, and they touched up the line markings on the gym floor as well. And this was a request of the school. These were the rainbow stairs going into the 900 section of Bolinas. Our staff did that job, and then that's what it came out like at the end. Bowser, this was in the spring there. We had a teacher or an EA slip on the hillside there, and so it was their suggestion of putting some sort of path that has some traction. So we got that done in the spring. And the outside of Bowser, for anyone that's been up there recently, it just looks amazing. Like the whole outside of the school, the paint department's done a great job. It's really given that school some curb appeal, and it looks really, really sharp. So the whole school's been painted. And they had an electrical system upgrade there. They had the school with no power for about 2 weeks. That was an extensive project. Also, just some mold remediation under the sink there, and before and in progress. And then whenever we can, when we do these projects within the schools, we're moving towards stainless steel commercial grade counters and appliances. And so we'll slowly get through the schools with the FIP funding and slowly take away the laminate and get stainless steel countertops and furniture. The Errington project was quite extensive. This school hasn't had irrigated sports field or field for the kids to play on. And the reason has been is the school's on a well, and the well that serves the school for flushing toilet, running water, also irrigates the field. And we don't have enough water coming from that well to irrigate the field and run the school. So back in 2022, we had a new well tapped on that site. And then this year it was about building a new pump house, getting electrical to that well and getting that well. And so we've got some big poly tanks on site above ground to store the well water and put in new irrigation and This one's going to go 2 weeks into the school year, which it's not ideal, but it is what it is. And then we'll have this field seeded, and then we'll have irrigation that can water the field. And then this school will finally have some grass out there. DDC upgrades. So there was 2 schools done this year, Oceanside and Errington, and that brings the last 2 schools that we hadn't been able to control the heating controls from a central location. These Errington and Oceanside, we always had to have staff go to the school to change the temperature settings or manipulate the system. So big project, finally got the whole district on a centralized control system, which is great. And it really does allow us to better manipulate the system to provide comfort, but also cost savings when there's no one in the school. We can centrally turn the system off. Well pump replacement for the existing well that serves the school. False Bay, this one's an interesting one. Every 3 years, we try to get the school bus back to Vancouver Island off of Lasqueti Island. It's no easy feat. It has to be coordinated with the barge. Typically, mechanics go over there and they'll do a servicing on it every year, and then the inspector will come over and do his inspection. But this year, we really wanted to get it back. You can see all the caked on dirt, and it's almost like cement from the roadways over there. And so we brought that over, cleaned it all up, and then did a body of work to it. And now it's back on. It's either back over there or it's scheduled to be returned there this week to Lasqueti for school startup. Qualicum Secondary, as I mentioned, the washrooms. This was their existing main washrooms, what they looked like in the back building. Original colors, original flooring, and as you see in some of the below photos, original trough sinks that were in the washrooms there. And so it was crying out for some upgrading. So this project, again, quite extensive, had to open the wall up, crack the slab, reroute all the plumbing. And when we started that demolition, some electrical was disturbed, and we fell 2 weeks behind on the project because we had to restore the electrical that was disturbed. So this one's 2 weeks into the school year, and we've got some, the best we can do is we've got some ATCO portable washrooms with sinks and everything that are going to have power and running water, and they're going to be there for the first 2 weeks, unfortunately. But when the project gets done, I think it's going to be a very big win for the school. And this is just some in progress photos of what it's going to look like.
That's unbelievable. You've got a pumper cement truck.
Yeah, and this is what it was looking like as of about 4 o'clock today. This school will still have male, female on these washrooms, and we've been working with the student leadership group, and some of the student leadership's recommendations we've incorporated to make this, achievable so that it suits everyone. And this is what it's going to look like when it's finished. And some of the student suggestions were the bottle filling station on the outside, but also having the glass there with a strip of privacy, frosted glass there while they're at the mirror and those sorts of things. And it is a little different to the 300 section of Bolinas, where this is the heart of the school. It's right in the middle of the school, and right across from the washrooms is tables and chairs where people are eating or gathering. And so this one is a lot busier in the location, and so all their suggestions were very, very valid. It was a really meaningful meeting that we had with them, and we incorporated all of their suggestions to make this work. And so it's looking really good. Some flooring replacement in one of the big storerooms outside the gymnasium there. And we've got a sprinkler upgrade in progress there, because the Bolinas Whalers are also going to be playing at this field while the track grows in. But we've got an upgrade there of all the sprinklers that is in progress at the moment. Nanoose Bay Elementary, the gym floor was in really rough shape. This one required a full resand. And you can look at the lines, you can look at some of the damage on the floor. And so a full resand and finish and relined, and got their logo put in the middle of the, like many of the other schools. And so it came up like a brand new floor, which we were happy about. In the spring, we just had some playground repairs. We waited a long time to try and source this part. And so this part came in. The kids had dealt with that plywood for quite a while. Wanted to share this project here. This was this was school funded. in conjunction with the PAC. We did the work. This was done during the spring. And it helps redirect some of the kids when they're digging up in the fields and digging up the irrigation systems and those things, because they love to dig, is getting big sand pits put in the school. So we really want to encourage any of the PACs or schools that want to work with us to put these in around the school sites. In the spring, some new basketball hoop replacements at Nanuus. Oceanside got a DDC upgrade as well. Again, helps with the centralization of heating in the schools. Got some duct cleaning. So we do 2 or 3 sites every year, getting all the ventilation systems cleaned. They're on a 3-year cycle. And we cleaned all up in the ceiling tiles. It was full of metal shavings and stuff from some of the projects in the past. And then this was a kindergarten classroom that had carpet, and obviously kindergarten classes and carpet don't go well together. So we got that swapped out and a new linoleum floor in there. We put this one in because we can't lose sight that we have some capital costs for PCTC for our 16% portion of that building. We had a really large project for the elevator upgrade, and we're currently in the process of replacing the HVAC system at that building, and so there's quite a big project going on there at PCTC. Golican Beach L, we had a fire alarm upgrade. It's the after shots. Springwood Elementary. We've got a new playground that's going in there. I know I've spoken about this in previous meetings. Tight site for location, as it's an old middle school. So a bit of work to get this location nailed down. We had to get Fortis to reroute a gas line to actually make this area usable. That's what the playground's going to look like. And I just want to give a shout out to the Springwood PAC. Working with them in the last 12 months to get to this place where we can get a playground of this size installed there has been nothing short of a monumental effort. They have raised through fundraising and through grant writing, and I helped them with some of the grants, probably contributed $80,000 to $90,000 to this project. And what it allows us to do is actually build a really extensive playground where money doesn't get wasted on border protection and soft fall and all these sorts of things. And this is our first truly, wood chips are accessible, but the rubber is much more accessible. And so the only reason we were able to do the rubber is they wrote a grant and got a $40,000 grant for the rubber portion. And so we've got rubber going in for a portion of this playground. But yeah, this is the kind of work we like working with the PACs on. I think we can do great things when we sort of look ahead 12, 24 months. Equally, there was a vacant area in the existing playground, so they got a new spinner in there as well, and that's already been installed. Their gym floor needed some attention too, so they didn't need a resand, but it got relined and refinished, so it looks really, really good. And then in the spring, we put new basketball hoops in at Springwood as well. Some mold remediation. This seems to be coming up a lot this year. Some of the sinks underneath, so that was all in progress of getting swapped out, and that one is actually in timber. Winchelsea. This one we've been waiting 1.5 years to 2 years to get this one done, just on materials. So that had a power distribution upgrade, and that's going to help us upgrade the kitchen there at Winchelsea. They also got duct cleaning done. I had before shots, but I thought it's not. I don't want to show the before shots. As part of the electrical upgrade, we were able to get an electrical panel put into the kitchen where the existing kitchen is, and so we're going to start working with Autumn and getting a kitchen upgrade in this facility here. So we're going to start moving to stainless steel counters and appliances and really upgrade this kitchen. Also, in preparation for that, we had to remove the flooring on the right was asbestos tile, so we had to get that flooring removed, and then we got some non-asbestos linoleum put in, again, in preparation for a kitchen upgrade there. All sites, just want to talk about, the regular stuff, like all the stuff that the custodial team does, the cleaning every year. I don't think people realize they turn over every table, they scrape off the gum, they get into every crevice of the chairs and clean everything with a fine-tooth comb, and it is quite an extensive cleaning program. in the summer. Again, the works crew knocked it out of the park this year. And this is some before shots. And this is work that we just wouldn't get to if we didn't have the works crew. That's some of the before shots. KSS in the bottom left-hand corner, and then up on the left and the right-hand side is Oceanside. Then you look at the after shots of the work that they do. So really bang up job. This is something I actually am really pleased to see. We've been working with Ruth Stefanik in the last couple of years. We couldn't get to it last year, but Ruth had worked with Mike Suchak in getting a bunch of stencils to get kids moving out there. High yield, low cost to get these things done. And the paint department really stepped up this year and got this at nearly all sites, I believe. So we got coloured stencils right across the district, which is great. These are just a bunch of the miscellaneous things that we do every year as part of our preventative maintenance. They happen in the background, no one knows, but this is the preventative maintenance things that we do, from backflow preventer testing, fire extinguisher inspections, and danger tree removals, so on and so forth. And then the last point there, we cleaned up about 200 general work orders. And this one's a community one. I know Superintendent Jory spoke about it, but I just want to, because when I came here in 2022, we worked on the track, getting that finalized for approval and all those sorts of things, and construction started in 2023. I didn't live through what a lot of people have lived with here for a long time. And so I've seen more of the new track than I did of the old track. So I kind of forgot what it looked like. And it's interesting because I looked online and that picture on the right-hand side said that, the maintenance team are mowing the track because it was so much grass growing through. So where we're at, and this is just a progress shot, once we'd had it asphalted last year and the sand getting groomed in the field, to where we're at now. And then this is where it's at right now. And as of today, there's some fencing going up at either end of the fields. And so we've got 5-foot chain link fencing going up, and then that'll be ready for September 12th when we have the opening ceremony there. So it's in really good shape. Super proud of everyone's efforts on that. And then these are just some things that are ongoing. We've got the False Bay replacement planning. There was a lot of work done over the summer for the False Bay school rebuild. And as Superintendent Jory mentioned, we've got some community consultation really stepping up on the 8th of September, where the architectural team's coming over. And we'll really get some interactive community consultation happening. We handed Qualicum Commons over to the town of Qualicum. We've still got some little things to hand over there, but that happened in July. Lots of things that we needed to work through on that front. The Qualicum Beach childcare facility planning, that one's still, we're planning on turning soil here, hopefully January, but maybe even just before Christmas. I was up in Comox today looking at some of their projects that they've got underway and visited a couple of the childcare facilities. And yeah, I think we're going to be really happy with what we're going to end up with here, because we're kind of copying the playbook from them. And then, as Superintendent Jory mentioned, there was a day where we had to set up the Ballina Secondary as an evacuation site. And so luckily we didn't need to use it, but that had to happen. And of course it happens at Sunday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon when you get the call. But the team stood up and everyone chipped in. So that was great. That's it for the slideshow, but I see some hands up, but before I take any, actually, let's close that out, and then I have one point at the end.
Okay, give your poor voice a rest, but it is so special and so exciting. Trustee Young, and then Trustee Kellogg.
Yeah, this is really the highlight of the August meeting. It's great to see what the team does over the summer and during the year. I know it was a short summer this year. We actually didn't get out until quite late in June, and then we start like bang on the beginning of September. And I know that as an educator, I always felt that. I always knew, it's a week shorter. A week shouldn't make that much difference, but it does. And I think with all the projects that are like a week to 3 weeks overdue or whatever, that's pretty good. We got away with some really awesome work done over the summer. I have one question, and then I have something that I would like to kind of talk to you about maybe offline. I know that the fire alarm at Springwood, I believe it was Springwood, got an upgrade a few years ago so that folks who were deaf or hard of hearing could be included in, like, it wasn't just a noise alarm. There were also lights and stuff. And as we do these fire alarms, are they getting upgraded for folks who are deaf or hard of hearing?
It's
Yeah.
a great question. You're talking about the strobes, and yeah, we put the strobes in at Springwood. I don't believe, I'd have to double check. I'm not 100% sure, but each time we have certain needs, and we work with Jen Furman on this. Like we have someone entering a high school with some wheelchair accessibility, needs, and so we try to work through that in the summer in preparation for kids coming in. And so we do retrofit some of the needs in the schools, but it's a great question on future moving upgrades, whether they're incorporated, but I'll get back to you on that.
Well, and it might cost less. I don't know. I was just sort of thinking about it. And the other thing is, I know that we're looking for an answer. I'll just put this out, and I hope you don't mind, Phil, for the accessibility gate on the track. And it's around access and locking it off so that people don't drive over the track with vehicles, or otherwise deface our very important asset that we worked 20 years to get. So I do have an idea about that, and I'll probably email you. But Phil, do you want to fill people in so that if other people have ideas, they might bring them to you as well?
Yeah, and thanks for bringing it up, because it's a really good point. And we chatted the other day, and I said maybe I'm trying to solve a problem that doesn't exist, but my worst fear is that we're putting a fence up on both sides of the field, and we will have those little chicanes that you've got to walk through that makes it difficult to get motorcycles through and all those sorts of things. But we do have an accessibility path that goes up that's maybe 6 or 7 feet wide, and or whatever it is, and we can't gate that off and stop people from using it in with wheelchairs and accessibility needs. And so we're not running any fence there. We're not having a gate there. That's actually still open. And my fear is that, to your point, with all the work that's done and all the fundraising and all the cost to this project, that someone uses that ramp to go up there. So, what I'm really hoping for out there is some community policing on this. Community policing from not letting the dogs tear up the fields. We've done a lot of work to treat the high school fields as actually sports fields for the kids, rather than the way we treat elementary school. We treat the preventative maintenance on a field at an elementary school is a little bit less than what we're doing on the high schools, and rightfully so. Like, there should be sports fields in the high schools. And so we're going to be putting signage up everywhere to say no dogs on these fields, no motorcycles, no e-bikes or anything. But really leaning into the community policing. I think this community really listens to each other and respects each other. And we've already seen less dogs out on the fields at Ballina since we've had the community involved. So thank you for bringing that up.
Thanks, Trustee Young. Trustee Kellogg.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment on a few things. I'm really happy about the bathrooms, particularly the way they've been designed, because I feel like students that felt like there was maybe a safety issue for them to go into the bathroom, this design is going to take care of that. And yeah, I'm really pleased with that. What I did want to ask is, the bathroom that is in KSS, is it the one that's on the second floor there across from the tables?
Correct. Yep.
Yeah.
In the back building.
Did you hear that, Eve?
Yeah. I wanted the bathrooms in the gym done.
Anyways,
next to the
that's
gym.
fantastic. The other thing I'm so happy for Springwood that they're going to have their playground. Is there, do you have any idea when it will be completed?
Yeah, I would say by the end of fall. We'll be looking the end of fall. So some site preparation will happen there. I went past this afternoon. The construction fencing's up already. There'll be some site preparation, and this is the relationship that I really do admire that we've built in operations with the PVP. Is where they're really given us greater access to doing some of these projects during instructional time,
Yeah.
like the playground. We've got some construction fencing. We've been working with the principal, Jesse Whitty, there, and
Yeah.
we'll get in and do the site prep here very shortly, and then the playground will start to go in the back end of September, early October.
That's really great. And I agree with you that the pack at that school is phenomenal. They really go full force. And I just wanted to make one last comment, and it's those paintings that are on the ground for the kids to play with. They will be so excited when they see them.
Oh yeah, I know.
It's all these extra activities that are just painted on the ground and will keep them busy. Beautiful work. Thank you so much, Phil, and your team.
No problems. I appreciate that. And if I could just mention one other thing, and Superintendent Drury mentioned it, the transportation work review improvements that have been happening for the last couple of years cannot be understated. We're finally going to get to a place this school year where all routes in the district, when your kiddo catches a bus that's a route number in the morning, is going to be mirrored in the afternoon. We haven't had mirrored routes in the whole time I've been here. And so whatever the bus number is in the morning, you're going to get that in the evening. And what that makes it easier for us to do is, one, communicate when we have a disruption, like a breakdown of a bus or something happens. But two, just more seamless understanding of how our network works. And if there's a problem in one section of the district, it shouldn't mean the whole district is impacted because it was so intertwined before. So great work from the transportation department. And the only reason we've been able to get to this place is because of the routing software. And the routing software is really integral from the uptick from the parents with the My Ride K-12 app. I have it on my phone. When the buses, I can check to see if the bus is running late in the morning, or I can check in the afternoon and say to my kids, don't leave the house just yet. You can wait another 10 minutes. The bus is still 20 minutes away or whatever. So it really does give you a good pulse check on when your kids are swiping on the bus, but also where the bus is if you're worried about it being late or early or any of those things. So My Ride K-12 app, just want to give that a plug. And yeah, thanks for the time.
Thank you.
I think Phil, it's also a big safety feature for parents to be able to tap into, and they should sign up for the app, because I see it very much as a safety program for our students.
Absolutely.
And for bus drives, for sure. Oh boy, I'm exhausted seeing all of those. I mean, tremendous work by the department, and please extend our heartfelt thanks for all the time. And I do understand that there's still a little bit of a bee's nest around the Noosa Elementary, and some summer crews took the hit from a few stingers, and this isn't all fun and games whipping around with a whippersnipper. You hit something that's not quite right, and it's an owie. It's a big owie. And so thank you very much to all your team. It's awesome to start the year on such a high. It's great. And I do like the before and after stuff there. It's awesome. Keep it up.
Thanks.
Oh, next, Finance and Operations Committee, Policy Committee, and Ed Committee, just a little amendment based on some of the things that we shifted. That now Finance and Operations Committee of the Whole and the Policy of the Committee of the Whole will meet on Tuesday. So that will be Tuesday, September 16th, 10:30 and 1 p.m. And then our Education Committee, and that would be the second Tuesday if someone's just trying to orient themselves that way. Education Committee of the Whole will be the third Tuesday of the month. So that is September 23rd at 12:30. Still to be sort of confirmed as our PNVP and senior team.
Yes.
But stay tuned and watch the website for the meeting as it comes up, because everyone will get invites sent to DPAC, our stakeholders for sure, and things like that. So, but on the website, you'll have the up-to-date information. Trustee Young.
Yeah, I thought that Ed Committee was going to be on the second week of the month. Yes. And then the others are on the third Tuesday of the month, right?
Sorry.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yep, you're right.
Okay, so
Sorry.
Okay,
I
that's
was
all right.
almost-
I'm
I
just
was
looking,
just
so
jotting.
Ed committee would actually be on the Tuesday, the 9th, I think.
Yeah, okay, yeah,
Yeah,
sorry.
our agenda might
I
be out a
went-
little late.
I went the other way.
Okay.
Thanks for the catch on that, for sure. But it'll all be up in the web, all in order in the proper sequence of second, third, and fourth Tuesdays of the month as we orient our business around Tuesdays. There are no reports from representatives and outside organizations. There are no trustee items. So I'll turn to the new and unfinished business, or at least follow up to business. And False Bay School K-12 discussion and trustees, if you'll note in your package. Or it's not in your package, but we have from a briefing note that there is a motion to approve this reconfiguration, but we'll get to that. I know we should probably put it on the floor first, but I'll take liberty as the chair to ask Dr. Jory to speak to the background of it, and the trustees will entertain a motion. Dr. Jory.
Thank you, Chair Flynn. What I'll do is I'll actually put the briefing note up on the screen. It was not our intention to hide it from people, and what we'll do here is oh no, that's the wrong thing. Hang on a second. There we go. What we'll do is so there it is this way at least anyone who's on the call can see the briefing note and look at the recording if they want to check out any details. And actually, by all means, reach out to me. I'll just send it to you. It's not this is intended for public consumption. Anyway, the review part of this actually is going back to parents of the False Bay School reaching out and making some requests about improving service, and specifically around can we go to grade 12 here. And so we had some great conversations. We actually, Carol Kellogg and I actually made it over there for a bit of a visit. A larger group of us went over a second time in regard to the construction, and throughout all this, it became, I think, really interesting to us to expand the service over there and see what we can do in anticipation of the new build. And starting with, we felt that it was time to have a teaching vice principal present on site. Over the last several years, we've had somebody on this side, as we call it, attend to this part-time, converse with, teaching and support staff remotely, come over from time to time, provide, some relief, for prep time and such. Perhaps have some in-person meetings with staff and parents and such. But it felt like when we get into the planning of the build and the building itself, that really we wanted to have exempt staff take the reins. There was unfair to ask our teachers to have that extra responsibility through this process, and to rely on them for communication. So that was certainly of interest. We also recognize that we have a group of kids, older kids, that had started to appear at the school. They were being supported very, very beautifully by staff, sort of an informal way. Community members, parents were supporting them informally. But there they were, sort of sequestered away in the corner of the building, off the kitchen, and not really feeling like they were connected to the site. And we felt that with a vice principal on site, we could, even if we didn't officially go to K-12, right off the hop, we could start to have some leadership and some flexibility around supporting them, and use them, I think, a little more officially and more I would say with intention, and include them a little bit more in the community. And so we got approval for the new vice principal position, as mentioned earlier in this meeting. We've hired Carolyn Smith to come and join us, and she is present out there and on this call, and we welcome her to that, and we're looking forward to starting the school year. In regard to the K-12 conversation, of course, we did a survey. I will share those survey results with you in summary form. I just got this little thing. Okay, there we go. We got 24 responses from False Bay parents and caregivers and community members. I mean, people shared it around. Asked for, are you actually a parent, and can you name your kids, and so on. So we're able to delineate around that. And of course, I do what we like to do now is put those survey results right into ChatGPT and get a summary, and it's very, very clean and unbiased. Factually, 22 of the 24 respondents indicated support for reconfiguring the K-12. So that's the first fact that I'll share. And there was a theme in those survey responses that parents felt that if we went from K-9 to K-12, that those secondary students, their secondary students would attend for sure. And 7 more said they would be more likely to attend or attend longer, and with only a limited number saying otherwise. Themes from the written comments: affordability is a concern for parents. Obviously, rent costs have gone way up in the last decade. Family stability, keeping their kids close to home was of interest. How challenging it is to relocate to get to one of our main high schools over here. And, there'll be community connections, reducing barriers for family, and the need for greater success, rather than being in what is feeling like a very isolated situation. And of course, we reached out to ministry. This is actually a parent that reminded us that you get more funding for this. Like, oh yeah, actually we would. And ministry confirmed that. And so, while it's not necessarily a bonanza, it does give us some flexibility around some additional tertiary expenses, and can help us get to a little bit more staffing out there, which we intend to kind of parse out as more students attend, and in a thoughtful and I think somewhat frugal way. We do want to go with some in-person offerings, starting with math. I think that's the place where we would like to start first, and then expand from there. But first things first, let's move to the next stage here, where we talk about the actual change itself, and then allow the board to ask questions and have a discussion. We think going to K-12 is a good idea, frankly. The staff is recommending this. We think that this will mean improved instructional support, right? If we're able to provide some direct in-person instruction, that's going to lead to better outcomes, and also increased formal connection to the school. We think there's a great opportunity for our older students to mentor and model learning and improve school culture. I was a principal of a 6 to 12 school, and when I arrived, there was this previous culture of separation. This group is not allowed to talk to this group. I mean, we're talking about kids that were in the same cohorts the year before, ride the same buses, live in the same neighborhood, and even the same houses. No, you can't talk to each other. Well, we broke through that pretty quickly, and I'll tell you, our older kids were just gold. We had them as peer helpers in classes, and running activities, and it was really fantastic, and great for our younger kids, great for our older kids too. So I think there's opportunities there to formalize this type of game. And then of course, hybrid programming. The reconfiguration has been we've gone ahead and actually attached it to Keep and Pass, and made Autumn Taylor our principal. We have not just her knowledge there, but also access to more resources now. All the online activities through our own Keep, of course, but as well, there are teachers in the Pass Alternate program that have all kinds of skills, and honestly, they can't wait to connect with the kids on Lesquiti and go over there, and we'll try to get them back if that happens, because they're very excited to be over there. So we think that doing more in-person activities and having these other resources are going to be a great benefit. So in summary, taking together the survey results, the funding assurances, the educational rationale, all provide a strong foundation for moving forward with this K-12 recommendation. So we are asking, in light of all these things, that the Board of Education approve the reconfiguration of False Bay School from kindergarten to grade 9 to kindergarten to grade 12, effective this September. So right off the bat, if you will. And I'll take this down
Thank
and
you,
turn it back
Dr.
to
Jory.
you, Chair Flynn.
Yep. Thank you, Dr. Jory. I think before discussion and questions, I will ask for a mover and a seconder. Can I say mover Trustee Young, seconded Trustee Kellogg? Thank you. All of those. Oh, no, we can't vote yet. We have to have discussion. Trustee Kurland, you were first, and then I'll call upon Trustee Kellogg. Trustee
Yeah,
Kurland.
thank you. So I was just thinking that having grade 12 students, I guess there's going to be a grad ceremony over at Falls Bay. And not only that, I'm wondering if it's a two-way street. If there's, we have international students who board. I'm just wondering if there's some students who wish to board on Lesquiti with some of the students that are there and open that up for people, because it might be a really neat thing to have some students who want to go over there.
Yeah.
Trustee Kurland,
Yep.
Those are amazing ideas. Let's not
Yep.
get ahead of ourselves.
Why
One
not?
step at a time.
One thing at a time.
Yep.
Thing at a time.
Yep, one step at a time. No, great idea. Cool. Trustee Kellogg.
Yeah, I just want to say that the day that Dr. Jory and I went over and all these older kids were in the back of the kitchen behind a curtain working on their computers, it was very evident that they don't want to be sitting at home working by themselves, and they're happy to be on Lesquiti. And there is a bit of a social connection for them to be able to be at the school together. And the families, there is the economic hardship if their kids have to come over here to the mainland I don't know what, I guess this is the mainland.
Big Island.
Yes, the mainland of the island. Anyways, yeah, and the parents really, really would like to be able to keep their kids at home if that's their choice. And there may be families that will end up moving over to Lesquiti because their kids would now have the opportunity to continue on with their education. So I think it's a win-win situation. I'm super excited for the families.
Thanks, Trustee Kellogg. Trustee Young.
Yeah, I'm very supportive of this, having liaised to False Bay for a few years. And it brings, what it does in this whole thing with False Bay, with the upgrade to the school, opening the school to community, it really brings that community feel to Lesquiti. They've got a community asset that everybody can use. The other part of it is it brings them closer to our school district. And I think that that's something that was lacking when I liaised over there. It was like they kept looking at how they were different rather than how they were the same. And I think this plan will bring us into a closer relationship and alignment, particularly with those parents who are really, really well versed and really knowledgeable. So thank you for this. Thank you for all the consultation you've been doing. I think this is going to be fabulous. And I'll bet you anything there's going to be a whole bunch of districts that go, oh, in our rural and remote school, we could do what they did.
Okay, so we have a motion on the table moved by Trustee Young, seconded by Trustee Kellogg. that the Board of Education School District 9 Qualicum approves the reconfiguration of Falls Bay School from kindergarten to grade 9 to kindergarten to grade 12, effective September 2025. I'll call a question. All those in favor? Carried. Trustee Austin, welcome. Go ahead. Sorry, are you voting in favor or do you have a question?
I think she was
Thank you. I was
voting.
voting in favor.
Okay. Thank you, Trustee Austin. Welcome. And so that brings us to the end of our agenda for this evening, of this portion of this evening's meetings. No board correspondence. So public question period. Are there any questions? Madam President, Mr. Wood.
Hey, how's everyone doing? Yeah, I just have a couple questions. Just wondering how the board came to the decision to orientate their work around Tuesdays. Just curious where that, how that worked, or what was the deciding factor to move from Mondays to Tuesdays?
Holiday. Trustee Young, a lot of holidays land on the Monday. Long weekends, things end on the Monday, and then we end up crunching things into Tuesday. All 3 meetings, it becomes a bit of a stretch. And I think people felt that if we tried to orient ourselves one day for board business, and we would then stagger it through the month of each month to being that one day when we do board business, and not leaving trustees the Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursday, Fridays to do their own personal activities. So I would suggest, unless trustee that would like to add any further information, that's, I think, where we landed. And it's a work in progress, for sure. But
is this a 1 year? Is this kind of a 1 year thing, or is it something that will look like moving forward?
Well, we have it within our bylaws to create this schedule for the year in August. So the bylaw states that every August we will revisit the schedule for. I can't see the in-camera and regular board meetings moving, but certainly committee of the wholes is part of that discussion on an annual basis at our August meetings. Yeah. Okay. So we'll try it and see.
Okay.
Yep.
And the other thing that I would say is, I really was trying to consider actually with moving the ed committee meeting, that we don't have 3 meetings on the same day if it's a holiday weekend. And also I was thinking about, and maybe I got it wrong, that I thought that the union meetings happened after school. So none of our meetings happen now after school. They're all during the day. So that was kind of, I did take that into consideration as well.
Thank you for the explanation on that. I appreciate that. I just wanted to get clarification on that. And I just had a question for Phil, and that was whether thank you for his presentation. It was actually quite awesome. I'm just wondering, what is the plan to get those individual slides out to schools so they can, teachers get it? I'm sure they'll get some of that maybe on the Tuesday at startup, but just wondering what his plan is to get that information out to the folks that won't, not everybody will have watched this meeting tonight.
I think Phil indicated that principals and vice principals all have the deck and are willing to share with their staffs, I hope. But Ms. Monroe, please.
Correct. Yeah, it was shared with the PVP. And obviously there's around 80 something slides in that deck. And so I think some of the principals said they might take a couple of them out. They'll share what they can. But yeah, it's up to the principals there. They've got the deck in their hands, and then they'll sort of share it with their staff accordingly is the hope.
And they may focus on their school, awesome. And then go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's great. If you could send one to myself, that would be great too. And I can also share it out in my meetings.
Yep.
Great. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Matt. So any other questions? Barry, I think your hand's up permanently right now, so I won't, but that's fine. We won't go there because we're getting back into the tech thing. Seeing no further questions, could I ask for a motion to adjourn? And then we will move into our special public meeting on the annual election of the chairperson and vice chairpersons. Thank you, trustee Kellogg. All those in favor to adjourn? Thank you. And trustee Austin, thank you very much. Okay, that ends that portion of our meeting this evening. And so I will relinquish the chair and call upon our Secretary Treasurer to conduct the next portion of our meeting. And he is doing things, as we can see, electronically. Trustees, run and get your phone if you have to have a phone, because you need a phone to vote. So I will step down and call upon Mr. Amos to conduct the special board meeting.
Thank you, Chair Flynn, and thank you for the year's service. Once again, your leadership is always appreciated. So we'll just call the meeting to order, and we'll go right into the call for nomination. So again, as reminded, because we're doing this electronically, the trustees have, or they will send their nominations and their votes to myself via text. And then I'll just sort of report out the information for the chairperson, and then I'll pass that information on to the new chairperson who will conduct the election of the vice chairperson. So get your phones ready. Absolutely. I've got mine ready, but I'll call for nominations.
Ron, it appears that your phone is notifications have been silenced.
I have the same thing. I'm seeing the same thing, Ron.
Well,
and actually, I don't see the message anymore. So whoopee.
No.
So send me. So one of you send me a test.
I just sent one.
And I'm getting them. So
okay.
I'm not sure what the response is coming back as, but mine's clearly ready to roll.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
could you give me your telephone number, please?
You're texting Ron.
Yeah. What's
you're talking to me, Elaine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's the number?
250 927 2094.
094.
Okay, so I'll start that again. Calling for nominations for the chairperson of the board.
You get that?
I did. Is Julie still on?
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah, she is.
Yes, I'm here.
Sorry,
Okay.
no, it's
You're
okay.
I've
received, I've just received some information from 3 of the 5 of you, and so I just clarifying. Just
Oh,
giving
am
it
I
some...
supposed? I have
no,
to do
no,
that.
no,
Right?
You have to nominate someone for the chairperson.
She actually
I have to.
doesn't. I don't know.
I don't think so for a
Please let me just.
nomination.
No. Let me interject.
Yes.
I'm not expecting. I don't need nominations from everyone. All I'm getting at is I'm just seeing them come in, and if there's a nomination that I'm missing, giving you some time to put it in. So I will close the nominations. I have one name nominated, so I'll ask Eve Flynn if she accepts the nomination to be chairperson of the board.
I do. Thank you.
There we go. So because there's only one individual, we have no need to call for the electronic ballots. And so thank you very much for leading the board for once again another year. Eve Flynn, I will hand it back to you.
Okay, this still will be balloting information being sent to Ron. So what we have done in step 1, we will do now in step 2. I will call for nominations for the position of vice chair of the board. Please submit your nominations to Ron.
Sorry, just.
Shall we close nominations, Mr. Amos?
Yes, please.
And the results you have sent me, could you confirm or me? I believe I got the text, but I just,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'll just say it.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, so Carol is the one nominee. I'll leave it to you to ask for confirmation from Carol.
Carol, would you like to stand or be alongside me as my vice chair?
I'd be delighted.
Thank you. I don't know how you destroy ballots and do all that thing, but we didn't really have any voting. We just had nominations, but I will trust you, Mr. Amos in Charlottetown, to either throw your phone off the Confederation Bridge or whatever you choose to do. Thank you, everyone, for this vote of support for our team. We are all very supportive of each other in our work. And I look forward to us all working through our last year and a bit. This is an extended term, as some people may or may not know. We carry forward and don't hold elections in August of next year. We carry forward to the election in October. And so this is a slightly longer term. But I see Ms. Hurt, our trusty keeper of all intel.
There is normally a motion that the electronic ballots for the nominations of chairperson and vice chairperson be destroyed.
Okay. I was playing light to the fact that it could be thrown off the Confederation Bridge. Could I have a mover and a seconder, please, to remove or destroy the ballots? Trustee Young, seconded by Trustee Kellogg, that all electronic voting tabulations are destroyed, text or otherwise are destroyed. So our last order of business then this evening is
We should vote on that. Let's vote on that.
Oh, sorry. All those in favor? Okay, and I can't see Trustee Austin. Thank you, Trustee Austin. Last order of business then is our banking resolution, and it reads that the chairperson, vice chairperson, secretary treasurer, and assistant secretary treasurer for the Board of Education School District 69 be authorized to sign the banking resolution in accordance to bylaw 4 banking. Could I have a mover and a seconder, please? Move Trustee Kellogg, seconded Trustee Young. Trustee Austin, you still have your hand up. Do you have a question on where we're at, or is that just a voting one from before? Yep. Okay.
No, sorry.
Okay. Sorry, you've had a busy time. So the motion is moved and seconded. All those in favor of the banking resolution as presented? Thank you very much. We have a couple of that we've discussed, all of our committee of the whole and things like it previously. Over the next month before our next board meeting, we traditionally I've reached out, and I'll ask the assistance of Trustee Kellogg to reach out to see if folks are wanting to still participate in the external committees and be representative of the board and district committees that we have. And this was attached to your agenda, and we will also discuss representation to the district parent advisory councils monthly meetings. There is a draft from last year, but some people may want to move around or have other ideas that they'd like to share with me attending the DPAC meeting, but I will prevail on Trustee Kellogg, Vice Chair, to attend the September meeting of DPAC if you would, so that we will be up and running with your participation there. Good for that? Okay, yep. So that's September 17th the DPAC meeting. And then we can, I did correspond to everybody to have a look, but I won't hold you to it tonight as to how you'd like to attend DPAC meetings going forward and your committee representations as well. So we will address that and report out at the September regular board meeting. Are there any other questions, trustees? I see Trustee Young.
Yeah, I just thought I would throw it out here because it's fairly simple. With the District Parent Advisory Council, I'm willing to take any of the meetings. I'm very flexible around that. And I'm thinking, well, if they're online, it'll be easy, but if it's in person, I'm pretty close. So winter meetings might be better rather than having people go a long way. In terms of committees, I really love the early years table. But I would be willing to give up the Curriculum Implementation Advisory Committee. So I thought I'd just put that out because, you know, then other people can say, oh, yeah, I'll pick that up. So there you go.
No, good to know. Thank you. Thank you. But you still like to have the early years table. So
love it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, everybody take a think and we'll see. Oh, Trustee Keller.
No, it's okay.
No,
I thought we were doing a thing.
No,
I was following in Elaine's footsteps.
No, just throw it out to everybody and then we can maybe have a get together to talk about committee representation to report out in September at the regular board meeting.
Sounds good.
Okay, I'll call then for adjournment and thank you, Trustee Kellogg. And thank you everyone for joining us. And we're so excited about the start of the school year. And please mark on your calendars the opening of the track. This is long in coming, long standing, and such great amount of work done by so many people that I encourage everyone to please attend this wonderful time in the assets of our community. This is an incredible asset for our community overall. So thank you very much for joining us this evening, and we'll see everybody around the district over time, I'm sure. And thank you for joining us.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Welcome back.